Good morning, students. In last class, grade 12 biology, chapter 6, molecular of inheritance, we seen in small part of the DNA and what is meant by DNA and what are all the structures of DNA we have studied. Today, what is meant by DNA and what is meant by structure of polynucleotide chain, what is meant by nucleotide, what is meant by nucleoside, and what is meant by nitrogen base. All are we studied. Then the first one is a nitrogenous base. A nucleotide means what? Is nothing but it consists of a nitrogen base and a pentose sugar and a phosphate group. So nitrogen base plus pentose sugar and the phosphate group collectively known as nucleotide. Okay, a nitrogen base plus pentose sugar plus phosphate group collectively known as nucleotide. One nucleotide means normally this is actually a nucleotide. This is actually the expanded view of DNA. DNA means what? A two helical structure are present. Two helical polynucleotide chain are present. In two polynucleotide chain, a small part of the particular chain, a small part of the DNA is explained or expanded. So a DNA is nothing but the collection of nucleotide, polynucleotide. One nucleotide, then another nucleotide, another nucleotide. Two nucleotide means that is dinucleotide. More than two nucleotide means that is polynucleotide. Okay, this is actually polynucleotide chain. In actually one nucleotide means one nitrogen base plus one pentose sugar and a phosphate group. One nitrogen base, pentose sugar, phosphate group collectively known as nucleotide. Nucleotide means a nitrogen base plus pentose sugar plus phosphate group collectively known as nucleotide. Here one nucleotide, one nitrogen base, pentose sugar and the phosphate group collectively known as what is nucleotide. Then normally its nucleotide contain a nitrogen base, a pentose sugar and phosphate group. A nitrogen base and the pentose sugar and the phosphate group. Okay, what is meant by nitrogen base? Nitrogen base are categorized into two categories, purine and pyrimidines. Purine means what? Adenine and guanine is example for purine. And cytosine, uracil and thymine. Cytosine, uracil and thymine is example for pyrimidine. Okay, cytosine, uracil and thymine is example for pyrimidine. Okay, a nucleotide normally consists of a nitrogen base, a pentose sugar and the phosphate group. This is actually a nucleotide. A nitrogen base is consists of two categories, purine and pyrimidine. Purine means adenine and guanine is a purine. Pyrimidine means cytosine, uracil and thymine. Cytosine, uracil and thymine is example for pyrimidine. Okay. Then listen, this is actually a nucleotide. One adenine base pair with adenine which join with the pentose sugar. Adenine and nitrogen base join with the pentose sugar collectively known as nucleoside. Adenine and nitrogen base, pentose sugar are present, they collectively known as nucleoside. Then the one nucleoside join with the phosphate. One nucleoside join with the phosphate is collectively known as nucleotide. Nucleotide means one nucleoside plus one phosphate. One nucleoside, one phosphate is collectively known as nucleotide. Nucleotide means it's nucleoside plus phosphate. Okay, one adenine and nitrogen base paired with nitrogen base join with pentose sugar, it form a nucleoside, and join with the phosphate is known as nucleotide. Okay, this is actually adenine plus one pentose sugar nucleoside generally, particularly means adenosine. Here adenosine and nucleoside plus join with the phosphate is actually known as adenyllic acid. So adenyllic acid is example for nucleotide. Here nucleotide, adenyllic acid is example for nucleotide. Here one nucleotide, here one nucleotide. So the bond, what are all the bonds are present? What are all the bonds in the nucleotide? Are between the nucleotides? What are all the bond are present? So normally adenine, a nitrogen base, paired with the pentose sugar, join with the N-glycosidic bond. Nitrogen base plus pentose sugar means in between N-glycosidic bond or linkage. Then forms a nucleoside. The nucleoside join with the phosphate with the use of phosphoester bond, phosphoester linkage. Then here one nucleotide, here one nucleotide. Between two nucleotides, this bond, one nucleotide join with another nucleotide, form a dinucleotide. The bond is phosphodiester bond. Phosphodiester bond. So nucleotide is nothing but nitrogen base plus pentose sugar plus phosphate group, collectively known as nucleotide. One nucleotide to join with another nucleotide with the use of phosphodiester linkage, it is form a what? Dinucleotide. This way the more nucleotide form and join a polynucleotide chain. So that is nitrogen base, adenine and guanine, cytosine and uracil and thymine are present. The nucleotide is nothing but the basic monomer of DNA. More nucleotide to form a polymer of DNA, that is polynucleotide chain. Two polynucleotide chain with the use of hydrogen bond to form a double helical structure of DNA. This, so actually DNA consists of two helical structure. In one helix, one part of the DNA is explained. Then same like two chains are present in a such a way to join a polynucleotide chain. Okay, this is actually a nucleotide, and normally we put in DNA 5' and 3'. 5' end is nothing but one end of the DNA which contain free phosphate. One DNA contain free phosphate means that is 5' end. One DNA contain 3' free OH hydroxyl group are present means that is 3'. In DNA, one end of the DNA which contain free phosphate means that is 5' end of DNA, 5' end of DNA. In another one part of the DNA, another one end of the DNA, free OH group are present. Free OH group, that is hydroxyl group are present. The end is known as 3' end of the DNA. So DNA is a structure which is a hereditary material. It carries information from one generation to next generation, and also it controls all the protein synthesizing machinery in the cell, because all the information for making protein are present in the DNA. DNA is a genetic material, important genetic material, is a type of nucleic acid. Okay, this is actually today we learned nucleotide and what is meant by nucleotide. What are all the bonds are present in between the nucleotides and inside the nucleotide also. Okay. Now molecular basis of inheritance and next continuation of the DNA. So normally DNA we know that is a polynucleotide chain which consists of more nucleotides. A single nucleotide contains a nitrogen base, a pentose sugar and the phosphate group. More than one nucleotide to form a dinucleotide, and more than two means this is polynucleotide. Actually DNA is a polynucleotide chain. The next one is RNA. RNA, what is the difference between DNA and RNA means simple difference. RNA is actually three types: mRNA, tRNA and rRNA. mRNA means messenger RNA, tRNA transfer RNA and rRNA ribosomal RNA. So normally nucleic acid two types, DNA and RNA. DNA means deoxyribonucleic acid, RNA means ribonucleic acid. In RNA, additionally, additional OH group at 2' position of every RNA nucleotides. Each actually the collection of nucleotides only, that is DNA, a collection of nucleotide only RNA. In RNA, every nucleotide, for example, adenine, nitrogen base, plus pentose sugar, it forms adenosine, and with the phosphate, adenolic acid. So, deoxyadenolic acid means that is nucleotide present in DNA, and adenolic acid means the nucleotide present in RNA. Now, adenolic acid forms a pair with thymidolic acid. Citrullic acid forms paired with guanylate acid, but in RNA, thymidolic acid are absent. Instead of thymidolic acid or thymine, the uracil are present. That is the difference. Plus, in RNA, every nucleotide has an additional OH group at the 2' position. 2' position of the RNA, at the 2' position of the RNA, every nucleotide contain 2' OH group. Then the uracil instead of place of thymine. So, normally DNA, for example, draw the diagram of DNA, listen. DNA, that is a 3D structure of normal DNA of human or any other animals. It consists of 2 chains. Okay, 2 polynucleotide chains are present. It's actually in one chain, adenine are present, means with the use of 2 hydrogen bond, adenine base pair are paired with thymine. So, collectively known as adenolic acid. Suppose DNA means deoxyadenolic acid, here thymidolic acid, deoxythymidolic acid. So, adenine with the use of 2 hydrogen bond base pair with the thymine. Suppose cytosine form 3 base pair with the guanine. In one helix, adenine are present, means in base pair with the thymine, and cytosine base pair with the guanine, or maybe guanine base pair with the what? Cytosine. This is actually DNA, or diagrammatic representation of DNA. So, DNA normally consists of 4 base pairs, adenine, thymine and cytosine, guanine. Here in RNA, uracil are instead of thymine. Normally thymine are present in DNA, but in RNA means instead of thymine, uracil are present. So, only the 5-methyl uracil is another name for thymine. So, thymine otherwise known as 5-methyl uracil. Okay. So in DNA, adenine paired with thymine, cytosine paired with guanine. But in RNA, adenine paired with uracil and cytosine paired with guanine. So the DNA RNA means only one difference. In additional OH group are present in every T2' of position of RNA, and instead of thymine, in RNA uracil are present. In RNA, even mRNA, tRNA, rRNA, if any RNA, uracil are present, but thymine is absent. Thymine only present in DNA. Okay. Then how the genetic material is observed, how the genetic material are discovered. So first scientist, Frederick Mesher in 1869, it's the acidic like substance, like a pH in acidic like substance present in the nucleus. The acidic substance is known as nuclein. He named the particular DNA is nuclein. So actually in 1950s, after 53 only the DNA is proved and isolated, and before 1953, in 1869 itself, the Frederick Mesher is with the use of some experiments, he identified the acidic substance present in the nucleus. The acidic substance is nothing but that is a genetic material, and he formulated the particular name is nuclein. Nuclein is actually a name given by the Frederick Mesher. In next one is James Watson and Francis Crick. Watson, we know Watson and Crick only modified or formulated a DNA in 1953. In 1953, he formulated a double helical structure of DNA. In 1953, James Watson and Francis Crick. With the use of X-ray diffraction method. Actually, Watson and Crick only explained in the double helical structure of DNA. For this, he got a Nobel Prize also. But the particular James Watson and Francis Crick use X-ray diffraction method. With the use of X-rays, diffract the biomolecule and identify the structure of DNA. Then the X-ray diffraction method is a type of method with the use of X-rays, the rays, for identifying the biomolecules. The X-ray diffraction method is identified by or discovered by Maurice Wilkins and Rosalind Franklin. The two scientists, he is actually forming a X-ray diffraction method. With the use of X-ray diffraction method, James Watson and Francis Crick in 1953, he identified the double helical structure of DNA. Okay, James Watson and Francis Crick only discovered the DNA in 1953, but the two scientists using Maurice Wilkins and Rosalind Franklin X-ray diffraction method. Then afterwards, Erwin Chargaff formulated one theory, that is adenine and thymine, cytosine and guanine as equal in the DNA. Equal means, example, adenine present means in opposite thymine only present, and cytosine present means in opposite guanine only present. Suppose guanine present means in opposite cytosine only present. So equally the adenine, thymine and cytosine are distributed. In your board exam also, maybe in NEET your exam also, some questions may ask. For example, adenine percentage is 30%. Then what about cytosine percentage? Adenine is 30%. How many percentage of cytosine in a particular DNA? According to this Erwin Chargaff rule, adenine and thymine, cytosine and guanine are equal. For example, adenine 30% means thymine how many percentage? We know adenine is equal to thymine. So, thymine also 30%. 30 plus 30, 60 over. Remaining only 40. So cytosine means cytosine and guanine 20 percentage. 20 percentage. Normally 100 percentage. So adenine is 30 percentage, means what is the percentage of guanine is 20%, because 30 plus compulsory adenine means thymine are present. So adenine 30 percentage in candipal is thymine is 30 percentage. Then thymine, adenine and 30 60 percentage over, means remaining only 20 to 40 percentage only. So cytosine 20 percentage means compulsory guanine also 20 percentage. So correctly 100 percentage you come. So adenine 30 percentage is compulsory, guanine also 30 percentage. Adenine 30 percentage. What is the percentage of thymine? 30 percentage. In guanine 20 percentage. What is the percentage of adenine? Guanine means 30 percentage. So compulsory cytosine also 20 percentage. 20 plus 20 40. Remaining 30 remaining 60 are present. So 60 divided to 2 adenine and thymine means adenine percentage is 30. Okay. Actually in your NEET exam, maybe in your board exam, I sent your board exam question papers also, sample paper for this year. We see the question papers are little bit tricky and 1 marks are more with multiple choice and assess and reason, all the paragraph like questions are present. You first check your sample question papers. Okay, sample question papers is little bit tricky, but actually NCERT level only, but you understand the concept, then only you identify the what particular percentage and all the things in your NCERT book. Next one is salient features of DNA. Normally DNA we know that the polynucleotide chain. Okay, draw the DNA, just follow. It is two helical chain. Normally DNA is actually today particularly salient features of double helical structure of DNA. Maybe single stranded DNA also present in some organisms. In some viruses single stranded DNA also present, double stranded DNA also present. But here double stranded salient features means important characters of double stranded DNA. Here this is double stranded DNA. Two strands are present. Strands means nothing but helix. Two polynucleotide chain to form a double stranded DNA. So normally in double stranded DNA, in one end of the DNA means 3' N means the another end of the DNA is 5'. Here 3' prime end means in another end is 5'. Okay. Then normally in DNA, adenine are present paired with thymine, cytosine are present paired with guanine are present paired with cytosine, thymine are present paired with adenine. So same like some nitrogen bases are present, like cytosine paired with guanine are present. Okay. Then first point, two polynucleotide chains are present. Normally in a DNA, two polynucleotide chains are present. The one chain opposite to the another chain, anti-parallel polarity. Anti-parallel means, for example, here the 5' end and 3' end. The next chain and the next polynucleotide chain is actually 3' end to 5' end. So two chains are present in a DNA. Double stranded DNA, one chain is anti-parallel to the another chain, and normally adenine base pair with thymine. For example, adenine base pair with thymine with 2 hydrogen bond, cytosine base pair with guanine with 3 hydrogen bond. The hydrogen bond gives additional stability to the DNA. So for plus uniform distance between the two strands. Why hydrogen bond are present means it linking the uniform distance. For example, DNA is actually distance between two The distance between two chain means, listen, the distance between two chain of DNA means that is 20 Armstrong. 20 Armstrong, the distance between two chain. One base pair, for example, adenine, thymine, adenine paired with the thymine. Cytosine paired with the guanine means the distance between one base pair. Here, this is one base pair. Adenine and thymine, one base pair. Cytosine and guanine, one base pairs. Between two base pairs, the distance between two base pairs is 0.34 nanometer. Between one base pair with another base pair. And the right-handed direction, in DNA actually right-handed directionally rotated. For example, adenine and thymine, for example, listen, adenine and thymine, maybe adenylate acid, deoxyadenylate acid and deoxyguanylate acid, deoxythymidylate acid. Adenylate acid means that is nucleotide paired with another one nucleotide, that is thymidylate acid. The base pair here. The next base pair, between one base pair to the next base pair, between one base pair to the next base pair, the distance between one base pair and next base pair means 0.34 nanometer. Then two helix, for example, adenine and thymine, then cytosine and guanine, adenine and thymine, cytosine and guanine, adenine and thymine. Normally, after 10 base pairs, the DNA one time rotating, right-handed direction it rotates. So, one base pair to another base pair 0.34 nanometer. So, continuously 10 base pairs means what is the distance of pitch? This is actually a pitch. One base pair to another base pair is normal, that is 0.34 to 10 base pairs in a DNA helix. This is known as pitch. So, each pitch contain 10 base pairs. The distance between each pitch is 0.34 into 10, so 34 nanometer or 34, not 34, 34 nanometer, okay, 3.4. So, 0.34 between one base pair to another base pair. Listen, adenine, thymine, cytosine, guanine, thymine, adenine, guanine, cytosine and guanine, cytosine, adenine and thymine. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then cytosine and guanine and thymine and adenine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, 10 base pairs are present. Like in the DNA, 10 base pairs are present. After 10 base, the distance between 10 base pairs means how many? Just each one to another base pair is 0.3. Then 3.4 nanometer. Okay, Armstrong means may be different than the nanometer, and the Armstrong is difference. So, in salient features of double helical structure of DNA means it is comprised of two polynucleotide chain. Two polynucleotide chains are present. Okay, and in two polynucleotides is actually anti-parallel. Anti-parallel means one chain starts with 5' end to 3' end, means another chain, a nearby helix, starts with 3' to 5' end. That is a two nucleotide chain with anti-parallel polarity plus, and each base pair, distance between one base pair to another base pair is 0.34 nanometer, and continuously 10 base pairs mean 3.4 nanometer, and between the one helix to another helix, for example, if separating the helical structure means here, then between the one helical polynucleotide chain to another polynucleotide chain, the distance means is actually 20 Armstrong. Okay, 20 Armstrong, the distance between two polynucleotide chain. Okay, and the uniform distance. Why the adenine and thymine hydrogen bond means that due to the hydrogen bond only the uniform distance are maintained between, because the DNA is uniformly adjusted, then only the distance of a particular DNA is a proper helical structure. Otherwise, improper helical structure may come. So, between one nucleotide to another nucleotide, the distance are maintained and hydrogen bond are present for what purpose means to maintain uniform distance between the two polynucleotide chain. Okay. So, in structure of DNA, double helical structure of DNA is identified by and discovered by James Watson and Francis Crick with the use of what? Maurice Wilkins and Franklin and the X-ray diffraction method. Next one is central dogma. Central dogma is nothing but is in 1953 the Watson and Crick, after studying the structure of DNA, that the double helical structure of DNA studied by discovered by the Watson and Crick. After discovering, he formulated the central dogma. Central dogma is nothing but the general process DNA after replication process. After replication process, it forms a DNA. After transcription process. What is meant by transcription and translation? In the next section we study. It forms a mRNA or maybe RNA. And after translation process, it forms a protein. Okay. DNA after replication process, it forms naturally we know DNA after replication it forms another one DNA, and DNA after transcription process it forms a mRNA. After translation process mRNA forms a protein. This is actually the central procedure, central dogma of given by the Watson and Crick. It is useful because some viruses, some like RNA viruses, like retroviruses, RNA is converted into DNA. So, DNA only normal general living organism, DNA only converted into mRNA, but in a general process. But sometimes mRNA in some viruses, it's converted into DNA. mRNA in some viruses converted into DNA. This is nothing but reversible reaction, that is reverse transcription. So, generally DNA after replication process forms DNA, and DNA after transcription process it forms mRNA, and mRNA after translation process it forms a protein. This is a general process. But in some viruses the mRNA or RNA it's reversely formed DNA, like in the case of HIV virus. I studied in human health and disease, HIV virus, human immunodeficiency virus, which causes AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Actually the HIV virus is actually RNA virus, retrovirus, after entering into the cells, that is a human WBC, and the RNA with the use of reverse transcriptase enzyme, after reverse transcription process it forms a DNA. DNA enter into the normal WBC cells DNA. So, DNA it's only controlling all the cell organelles and all the process performed in the cell, all the metabolic process of the cell. So, here in HIV virus and the HIV DNA which instructed to the RNA and instruct to the protein which produce more viral particles, more viral protein. So, HIV virus enter into the WBC and particularly T lymphocytes. With the use of T lymphocytes, it's multiply to more number. It affect the other cells also. Okay, that is a central dogma. It's formulated by the Watson and Crick. DNA forms DNA in the replication process. DNA forms mRNA in the transcription process. mRNA forms protein in the translation process. Okay. It is a normal central dogma of particular features. Okay. So far we are completed molecular basis of inheritance, normal DNA, the structure of DNA and the parts of DNA, and some proteins and structure of DNA and the nucleotide, and what is meant by polynucleotide chain and nitrogen bases, all the things. and salient features of double helical structure of DNA. What are the functions, the characters of double helical structure of DNA proposed by the Watson and Crick. And next section maybe replication or transcription. Thank you.